We're talking about ornaments. That's what I kind of call this stuff. So we've kind of been working our way out from, patterns to melodies to part writing to filling ideas, and like within like groove playing, like what makes more advanced groove players is, dynamics, inner voices, some kind of like sticking systems or something. Some people just think about it as linear stuff. I guess I see it really as paradiddles. Everything kind of is some sort of a paradiddle, and I guess it's really easy for my brain to just categorize it that way. But everybody's kind of got a different brain, so however you organize this stuff is really up to you. I'm just kind of showing you the landscape here. All right, so on top of all this stuff, what I would kind of call the really highest level of what the great drummers do is they have like a more nuanced vocabulary than everybody else. They have their own vocabulary, and where you get your own vocabulary, I think, besides tone and instrument, is how you ornament your phrases. So ornament that's borrowing a word from classical music. So like a trill, it's like bum ba da dum bum bum. So we kind of can do a similar thing on the drum set with sticking patterns. So instead of going da da dum bum bum, we can lead into one of those, not bum bum, or bum bum. Okay, so let's start with this: groove, 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 and 4E and 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Right, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, so if we're looking at this phrase, I'm just writing it down because to me it's easier to see this stuff, but you can do it in your head too. All right, so the first thing we can do is we can change one of these notes. We can add something to these notes. So the things that we can add, okay, so we can flam it or we can drag it. Here's your regular fill. 1, All right, let's flam it right here. To make it more open. All right, now let's do a drag into it. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2. An ornament is leading into this next phrase. So they're kind of like ghost notes for fills, you could think about it. So instead of just going, I'm going to set that up with this. So it seems like it's really small, but it's not. Like when you really listen to the great groove masters, the great fill masters, it's like the notes are one thing, but the way that they get in and out of notes is like, that's the smallest level of analysis, really, and it's where a lot of the voice happens. It's where it lives, technically speaking. There's a lot of other stuff, but the way that people set things up really determines what their tone is. So let's just stick with those two things. We've got flams. The way that I flam is like how I like flams, and the way that somebody else flams is how they like flams. So if I'm going to put a flam in a fill, I'm going to go, that's like really now I have my voice on it. Same thing with drags. I could do a double, or I could do a buzz. So flams are kind of more putting it on the note. Everything else we're going to talk about is leading into the note, drags and roughs and stuff. So a drag is 2 notes. A rough would be 3 notes. So we were doing that last time as ghost notes. And we're going to use that now to get into this. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, these ones much more than a drag, you really kind of have to consider your sticking up ahead of time. We can then also do 4 notes, which would be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Higher tempos, you can do those as doubles. 1, 2. And then really up, like top of the level here, is doubling your rough. So that that would be one, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Everybody kind of following this? I'll cycle through those a few more times, kind of get them more up to tempo. So this is just a drag. Let's buzz it. Oops. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, let's do a rough. A little sloppy. Let's do 4 notes. Let's do doubles. Let's do buzzes. 1, 2. All right, let's do 4-stroke rough as doubles. 1, 2. Whew, that's really fast. Roughs and drags lead into the beat and ornament it. Flams and hurtas ornament on the beat. So flams break the beat up. So instead of being, it's ba da da. It creates this like ah. So if you want to create some tension, you've got this flam sound, right? Hurtas kind of do the opposite. They like add these inner tension. So you've got that, right? Take it up. It's this like I don't know. It's a very aggressive sound, and it's really precise. You know, guys like Dennis Chambers, he does a lot of hurta stuff. Who else? Well, Carter Beauford too. You know, because he's a Dennis Chambers dude. It's a very powerful sound, very modern sound too. I guess Tony Williams was kind of a proponent of it too with the blues jazz. Woo! Not done the hurtas in a while. So they're tricky. There's a lot of ways you can get tangled up in hurtas, and you can do hurtas like all day. They go on forever. But generally speaking, it kind of involves one hand doing extra duty. So if I was like right, left, and I wanted to put a hurta on the first of it, that would put me on a right to end it. So I can either play that as a paradiddle, right, left, or kind of like an inverted paradiddle. Two lefts at the end, or switch hands and do it left-handed. So kind of pick your poison. Do you want to have to get your left hand strong, or you want to think in this sort of paradiddle extra math? But you just got to do it till it gets natural, you know. But start with it on like quarter notes. Then put it on like eighth notes. Then you do these kind of like 3/4 things. So really cool sound. You know, it's a fun sound. It's kind of tricky. Your chops got to be sharp to bust out Hertas, but great. Corey Fonville, if you don't know Corey Fonville, amazing with the Hertas. So getting back to this, we can put some Hertas in here. Let's see which ones sound good. Some sound better than others. So we got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's like an open flam. That's pretty cool. Let's put it on the beat 4. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Kind of like a triplet. 1, 2, 3. It's just every single one, every place you put it, it's just like a new, interesting kind of idea pops out of it. So it wouldn't sound good putting a diddle on the first note, but it would sound good putting it on the inner two, any of these two. We're going to put it on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Up. Right? A double. So we'll get the same sound if we put that double on the left. So the E of 4. 1, 2, 3. It definitely feels different in your hands, but it sounds the same. And then you can't really put it on the last note. You maybe have to add something. So that would be cool. All in all, we've got flams, drags, diddles, Hertas, roughs, doubled roughs, whatever you want to call this, 5-stroke roughs, you know. These are all the ways that we can ornament our playing. And you use different combinations of these things like, you know, spices in cooking. That's whatever your flavor is going to determine which of these you use the most. And again, not everybody thinks like this. Nobody sits down and says, I'm going to use 2 Hertas plus 4 of these. I'm just saying, if you break it all down, this is what you're going to wind up with. And if you want to practice this systematically, say you do a lot of this and you do a lot of this, you don't do a lot of this, spend a lot of time working on this, and you'll continue to develop your vocabulary, right? Okay, so that's it. That's all of the ways that you can modify, or I say ornament. I started with piano first, so I kind of think as a piano player no matter what. But modify, you could think about this like upgrading your notes, and what it's going to do, the effect it's going to have is it's going to take your beats, your grooves, your playing from sounding very precise and patterny and like thought out and written out. It's going to give it it's like we were speaking a new language and now you're starting to use slang. You could think about it. You've got your foundation, which is just nouns and verbs and everything. Then your punctuation, which is like crash cymbals and ride cymbals and whatever. And then when you get into ornamenting stuff, why did I do a 4-stroke roll here? Why did I do a drag here or buzzes? That's like slang, So if you're listening, listen past just the big notes. Listen to the smallest notes. And the way that people articulate those notes is how you really develop the sort of final level of your vocabulary. So I think that's it. If anybody has any questions about this stuff, follow me on YouTube. Lots of long playthroughs of all the books. You can buy the books at thedrummerbrain.com/store. And see you guys next week. Happy drums to you.